Welcome in to Capper's Cave. I'm your host, Lorenzo Day Coast. This is Free Picks and on Capper's Cave, brought to you by Intellect Sports. We have College Week 4 and NFL Week 3 Best Bets. Our best bets for the weekend for football, Monday night, will air on Friday now. We're going to change things up. Still gives you some time to listen to the games for Saturday and Sunday, but we feel Friday's a little better, and we can pay more attention to the lines and the line changes. And our reaction show will air on Tuesday, but not just a reaction. Again, we'll give our Thursday night best bets and for pro and college. And we already started 3-0 for the week. That's great. We had Marshall in the over, and we had Carolina last night. And it's time to ante up. No, it's a marathon, not a sprint, but hey, if you got some extra chips, you can throw them in there. If you don't have it yet, get the Capper's Cave app and get your daily picks from 6 major sports. It's only $2.99 this month for a lifetime of daily picks from our Cappers at Capper's Cave. And, of course, we have the one, the only, Locksmith Larry, or Larry the Locksmith, whichever you prefer. Good day to you. Yeah, man, I'm here. You okay or something? We need to talk about anything? Everything, good at home? Yeah, man, I'm good. I'm just a little tired. I get it. But I'm here. We're here for you if you need to talk. We can make this get it off your chest show, and you can lay down on the couch over there, and we can shoot some shit. Get some stuff off your chest. Nah, man, I'm good. I mean, really. I mean, if you life, I get it. Life throws shit sometimes. Right in your face. Like it gets busy. And you're constantly wiping that shit off your face, throwing it on the ground, and having to clean it up later. You like that? Is that a good? You like that? Is that a good life analogy? No. Is it?
You like that? You like that?
I think it was. No. Sounds like I need to get something off my chest. And I do. I had a little spat with the wife this morning, okay? But if I'm being honest, it was all me. Okay? Real quick here, because we got a lot to get to. We actually got plenty of picks and good nuggets and betting tips for you this show. A lot of action. We love it. But real quick, okay, I'm in the shower, right? Something we all hopefully do. Before I get into it, I want to reiterate the blame game, right? This game, it gets pretty intense the longer you live with your significant other or what have you. Just like when you were kids.
He started it. No, you started it. He started it.
You sometimes immediately blame with no evidence whatsoever, and it turns into a brawl. So just a suggestion, make sure you have sufficient evidence before you start pointing fingers. It's always a good one and a good relationship builder. Or really just do nothing at all. It's probably the safest, non-confrontational route, the best route. But sometimes you wake up and those moods you get in. So I'm in the shower, right? Okay, and really, do you have to do that? Yeah, kick it down a bit, all right? Just a little bit. All right, really, all of a sudden, we have all been there. You have a nice temperature setting, then all of a sudden your skin feels like it's fucking melting, and you jumped into a volcano. Now, note to self, the one thing you should not do is adjust the fucking knob, right? You shouldn't do that. But I'm tired, and I don't want to exit the shower, and now after several adjustments, I give up. I kick the fucking door open. I call my wife. Hey! She's not here. I call her on the phone immediately. And, just, hi. There was no hi at all. It was just, hey, where are you? I'm on my way to work. Did you flush the toilet before you left? And she's like, no. Or did you did you leave that faucet, the downstairs one that's messed up, where it does that thing? Did you put it, because it leaks a little? And she's like, no. Now she's getting pissed. And she's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, well, let me explain my wonderful morning. I'm in the shower, right? Next thing you know, the shower starts pumping out lava. And get this, I took a quick trip down to the freaking Arctic Ocean. And then by this time, she's already hung up. She's done. She's done. And then I look over at my sink. We got those dual sinks. And I left the water running after I shaved. I left it running. So, yeah, I'm the fucking idiot. My own doing. And we'll fight for the rest of the day, I'm sure. Absolutely. Man, poor girl, man. Yeah, I know. It was bad. It was a bad judgment on my part. No, I mean, just to be married to you, man. Poor thing. Okay. I'm sure your home, Larry, is all peaches and creams and fucking unicorns. Damn straight it is, man. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure it is. Anyways, let's get into some news, notes, and complaints. We usually don't have too many on this show, as we like to give you lots and lots of picks. So, again, stunner here, Wentz. May miss some time, and we called this at the beginning of the year. I'm sure everybody did. I mean, but this definitely plays into our bet against mighty Tennessee at home. I mean, this man is so brittle. He managed to injure both of his ankles. Both of them in one game. Oh, my goodness. Anyways, a couple of other injuries to pay attention to. Pretty much all the stars on the Steelers. Berger's out. Left pectoral. T.J. Watt, groin. Deontay Johnson, knee. Joe Hayden, groin. Burrow may be a good bet on this week, Cincinnati. So keep an eye on those. Some of them are questionable, so keep an eye. But I don't think they're going to be fully healthy with the sounds of those injuries. And, I like this. I like this Cincy team. I think they're going to gain a little bit more momentum throughout the year. I mean, they could play in a tough division. They're not going to do much this year, but this could be a good sneaky pick this week. Jackson, Mahomes. Not sure why we brought this one up, but I don't know if you watched the Sunday night game, Monday night game. Mahomes, a great game, Baltimore. But his younger brother, Jackson Mahomes, of Patrick, yes, he threw water on some Baltimore fans, taunting him because he was up in the booth, of course. And somehow this will play into our bet this week. So we like it. We like good news like that. Tua out in Miami, now travel to Las Vegas. Is Brissett, is he enough to go ahead and get a win here on this hot team? I think this could be, though, a letdown for Vegas. The points are going to go up with them being 2-0, and that's going to keep going up. And I think Brissett could be manageable. I mean, they look horrible against the Bills, but, he came in, and the Bills, they're amazing on defense. So, all right, moving on to the college football. C.J. Stroud, quarterback, Ohio State, is out versus Akron. Probably some rest here. They're putting him as questionable as a knee injury or something, but I'm sure it's just some rest. And really, any QB on staff could win this game. They're playing Akron. No action here, but it's a little bit under 50 points. Seems tempting. A.K. Rowdy, Akron, is probably the worst in college football, maybe in history. Maybe. Sorry, Akron. I love you, Akron, but I'm sorry. USC, California QB Jackson Dart out indefinitely after a meniscus surgery, following knee surgery. But they're still sitting minus 11 at Oregon State. Or I'm sorry, they're at home against Oregon State. Don't look into this too much. The backup's really not a backup. He started the year, played pretty good. I don't know why they started Dart, but I wouldn't look into this too much. Just so if you see the injury, don't jump on it. A lot of people do that. They're like, oh, big injury. Let's take the points. But Oregon State is, what are they, 3-0? Played a couple dubs, but, you never know. And the UCS program has just been downhill. So, and we had an upset alert here. Excuse me. Upset alert. Villanova at Penn State. There's no spread on this game yet, but we're keeping a close eye. as this could play into a nice letdown spot for Penn State. They are facing an FCS team, Villanova's FCS, in football. But the Villanova's defense has been hot so far this year. They've ranked second among the FCS teams. I know not great, but, that's still pretty good. Allowing just 89 total yards through the first 3 games. We saw an FCS team in Jacksonville State upset Florida State 2 weeks ago. Could we see the same? Listen, the Wildcats have a lot of momentum right now on their run defense, and they can score, but unlikely a win here. I'm just curious about the line and what it comes out to be. I think if we get around 37, which it could be very well, maybe even the 40s, just being that Penn State's ranked, what are they, 6th, 5th, 6th? So I'll take that. But, again, keep an eye on it. Just some notes. But without further ado, let's get into our college football picks. Starting at 12 p.m., we have Notre Dame Fighting Irish versus the Wisconsin Badgers. This is one of the best ones on the slate this week. Let's see, sitting at 6.5, Wisconsin eating the points. Over under sitting at 46. This is a neutral game. Let me say that again. It's neutral. I think this game against Wisconsin shows something that we have not seen like this in a while. The Irish, pretty big underdogs. First of all, the Irish are 6.5 underdogs, which is huge. Switch from being a TD favorite last week. And now leaning towards the Irish by losing by a possession. Additionally, Wisconsin is a whopping minus 235 on the money line compared to the Irish at 190, plus 190. I don't have any idea why the numbers are this much in favor of Wisconsin, except to think that the eye test is really just ruling it right now. The point total is way lower this week because that's what we've seen from Wisconsin under Paul Christ. Just an under team. Listen, I don't think Wisconsin has given us enough evidence to show they could beat the Irish on a full possession. That's not a knock on Wisconsin at all. I'm not trying to hype up this Irish team. That's still, they have a lot of work to do. Maybe the odds think this is a home game. No, it's neutral, guys. Yes, the Irish haven't looked sharp, but it's still 3 wins against a not that bad of a Purdue team. Toledo, who can light up the scoreboard, and Florida State, first game. Now, yes, Wisconsin had to play Penn State, which they only scored 10 points. And then lost, and then they played EMU, of course, whoop-de-fucking-doo-ha. EMU, Eastern Michigan. Who is that? I don't believe the bye week is worth that many points early in the season, right? Especially when they have a Big Ten battle up next against Michigan. I don't think it is. Oh, and this Wisconsin transfer? Yeah. Notre Dame's quarterback, Jack Cohen, 62% on the year, almost 63. Completion rate, 828 passing yards, 8 TDs, 2 interceptions, 155.5 QB rating through 3 games. Not too bad. And could be some bad blood here. Extra motivation. I like it. The Irish are 16-8 overall, 14-10 ATS with a plus 2.9 spread differential in neutral site games. Sorry, a minus. I think that these Leprechauns can come out with an outright win. So we'll take it and we'll lock it up. The Irish plus 6.5. Miami, Ohio Redhawks versus Army Black Knights. Another big game. Black Knights sitting at 8.5. Over-under sitting at 48.5. This is another 12 p.m. game. 12 p.m. Yes. I don't know where we're going here. No, I do. Do you know? Because I'm going to let you guess. I'm going to let you guess on that. Yeah, you know where we're heading. I like this Hawks team. Nice cover a couple weeks ago against Minnesota. Almost won. Dude, they've had a tough schedule so far. Finally, they got a cupcake last week. LIU, get some kinks out. 142-7. Now face an Army team that's easy to plan for. Run, and more runs. 331 yards average a game. Only 94 yards passing average. Now, they've scorched the scoreboard. But against who? UConn, Western Kentucky, Georgia State. Not a good sample. On the other side, the D gave up 21 to UConn. A point total we thought UConn would have right at the end of the year. Western Kentucky put up 35 on them. In fact, the only team to put more than 30 points against Miami was Cincy, which is Bama-like and much expected. This is a look-away game for the odds makers, as not much action, and we'll be on it, and we like it. More than a TD against these teams, and a team we think has a high percentage to win outright. Remember, if you listen in, we've talked about this Brett Gabbert, QB Miami. He's quality. He's one of the best in the MAC. Nothing special, but he's smart, and he can manage a game and not make many costly mistakes. So give me the Hawks plus 8.5. Moving on, another good Big Ten matchup here. Rutgers going into Michigan. Michigan sitting almost 3 TDs, 20.5, I think. I don't know if it's changed, but it could get up to 21, which I'll say right off the bat we would like. Over-under sitting at 49.5. This is a 3:30 game. Listen, both these teams, 3-0 ATS and SU. Something's got to give, obviously. But this spread seems a bit high for a team that really hasn't proven themselves yet. Yes, much improved Michigan. Not saying anything bad about them. But against who? Washington at home, trash. Who lost to, might I say, Montana? The Pac-12 is trash. Has been for the last decade. NIU, Western Michigan, and now you have Wisconsin on deck in Wisconsin. This is a tough scheduling spot here for an unproven team. Rutgers is on top of the Big Ten right now. Greg Schiano pushed the Scarlet Knights to join the Big Ten back in 2001 or 2011. He coached them for 10 years, and then finally came to fruition in 2014. He became, he left to the Bucks, Tampa Bay, the head man there. So he got the job back in 2020, and his program hadn't won the Big Ten since 2017. Or hadn't won a Big Ten game since 2017. Sorry. Yeah, they didn't win. But that's changed in the opener against Michigan State. They've won 3 conference games last season. Much improved. Much improved definitely from the prior years. They've gotten off to a nice 3-0 start. They took they took Michigan to overtime last year. So a bit of a revenge game here. And a bit of anger after leaving Tampa. And then Tampa wins the Super Bowl. That's got to sting. It's like it's like being injured and your team wins the championship. You can't help but be a little pissed and sad, right? Like you suck, you're useless, and we don't need you any. Right? Sorry, but Greg's got things going on. Anywho, I like this Rutgers team. I get almost 3 TDs, and again, it could get to 3 if you wait. Looks like the majority of the money is on Michigan right now. Scarlet Knights, they're 3rd in the nation in turnover margin. Number 1 in giveaways. And takeaways. I'm sorry, they're number 1 in giveaways. That's correct. Because they haven't turned the ball over yet. No, they haven't played Alabama or Georgia or Temple. Georgia. They played Temple, Syracuse, and Delaware. That isn't Murder's Row. But they have yet to allow more than 261 yards. The pass defense isn't getting hit deep. They're aggressive enough up front to bring pressure all game long. The O, not so bad. They're coming along. This Noah guy went 21 for 25, 323 yards, 2 TDs. He had a QB rating of 218 and ended the contest with 0 interceptions. Listen, the Knights, 5-0 ATS last 5 games as a road underdog. 4-0 in their last 4 games following after allowing less than 20 points in their previous. 6-1 versus a team with a winning record. Wolverines, 2-5 ATS in their last 7 games overall. 2-5 in their last 7 games on field turf. 8-21 in their last 29 games after allowing more than 280 yards passing in their previous. 0-5. This is the big one. 0-5 ATS in their last 5 conference games. That's pretty bad. 0-4 in their last versus a team with a winning record. So let's lock that one up. Scarlet Knights plus 20.5. Buy it up a point if you can. Just security. Get the 3 TDs. Another nice ACC battle here. Clemson Tigers versus NC State Wolfpack. Wolfpack getting 10 points. Over-under sitting at 47.5. This is another 3:30 game, so a lot to watch at 3:30. I don't know what I'm going to watch. This is a nice spot here for the Wolfpack. Being undervalued with that loss to Mississippi State in Mississippi. Now you get double digits at home. This place is going to be wild. Clemson's just not playing like Clemson. Can't move the ball. 126 yards last week against Georgia Tech. Listen, the Clemson defense might be deep and outstanding, but now it lost defensive tackle Tyler Davis. He was just getting back in the groove last week. He's one of their best players on defense. Now he's out for several weeks. NC State just needs to find a way to come up with a few scores. Its defense is stout, and they're good enough to keep the middling Tiger attack under wraps. Absolutely. This quarterback, Devin Leary, he's been good. Offensive line, giving him time to work. And the defense seems to take care of the rest. Listen, things are not going well with Clemson right now, and you can't get to 300 yards. If you can't get to 300 yards and need a fourth quarter touchdown to get by Georgia Tech, you're really struggling, Clemson. You really are. Listen, Clemson may win this game straight up, but we're taking NC State with 10 points. And honestly, it wouldn't be a surprise at all if they ended up winning the game outright. I think they'll be able to frustrate this Tiger offense. That's going to lead to another rough and ugly game where defenses kind of dominate, offenses, at a premium. Tigers 0-4 in their last 4 games overall, 0-4 in their last 4 games as a favorite. It's kind of the same thing, but 0-6 in their last 6 games in September. 10-1. The Wolfpack, 10-1 ATS in their last 11 games after gaining less than 100 yards rushing in their previous. They're 7-1 in their last 8 home games. Those are big numbers. We like it. Wolfpack. I'm telling you, this place is going to be bumping there. They can bring the crowd. I mean, Clemson travels well, but I'm telling you, this is the game all the fans had marked. We want to go to this game. We got Clemson at home. That's nice. That's a nice spot to be in. All right. Next up, Mr. Locksmith, you got a game for us. Are you heading to the to the SEC? I'd imagine. I hope, because you are our SEC connoisseur, kind of, sort of, but you pick a little bit of everything. Yeah, man. I'm sticking with the SEC. I'm gonna do them Kentucky Wildcats, going down into South Kakalaki, man. Gamecocks, man, they're getting 5 points. Over under 48.5. This is a night game, man. Yeah. So I'm sticking with an SEC home dog. Man, they always pay. South Carolina just got whooped on by my dogs, and this should be a nice wake-up call to play some ball at home, man. These boys haven't had their friendly confines since game 1, and they should be ready to roll Saturday night, man. UK, yeah, they may be 3-0, but just won a close one at home against Chattahoochee. That's Chattanooga, in case you didn't know, man. That's FCS, in case you don't know either, man. Listen, South Carolina put up 13 against my dogs, and that's more than Clemson did. I take these nice points, man, at home. SEC home dog. Yeah, and I'll lock that up for you, because I do like this. So I think South Carolina right now is one of those teams we just haven't figured out yet. They had a nice win at ECU, and we like ECU. We've talked about them. They've got a good team. But they haven't played the level of competition yet to really, as Kentucky has, or against a team like Kentucky, to really kind of compare. Or, to be able to cap them. But this is why we like this. It's unproven, it's an unknown area, and you get a home dog. with two equal teams as far as the eye test as I see. So we like it. Already locked it up. Gamecocks +5 at home. All right, let's take a quick break before we get into the NFL. For a word from our sponsors.
Have you seen all BetAnySports.eu has to offer? Are you interested in low rollover bonuses? Choose between two fantastic premiums with tiny rollover requirements. Get a 55% welcome bonus with only 6 playthrough requirement. Bet your favorite games live through their exclusive live betting feature. And bet your game as it unfolds with the top-of-the-line live betting odds. Mention promo code CappersCave and receive a 55% free play bonus to start up your account. That's Capper's Cave, a 55% free play bonus. And don't forget, BetAnySports has to offer high-quality betting lines, true odds and parlays, same-day payouts, and many other unbeatable perks. Use promo code Capper's Cave and experience online sports betting like never before.
The NFL. Where are we going? Should I talk like this the rest of the show? Would that be annoying? Yes, I believe it would be. NFL, Seahawks, Vikings. Vikings get 2 points. Over-under sitting at 55.5. This is the 425 game. I don't know why we're starting with this. We usually like to go in order. But fuck it. It's a game. We're giving it to you. After opening at -1.5, the Seahawks. Action on this contest pushed Seattle to 2 points. With the Road Hawks. Yeah, the Road Hawks. So we didn't even do it. Still receiving the majority of the bets right now. Through 2 quarters in week 2, the Seahawks were cruising along and well on their way to a 2-0 mark, SU and ATS. Then they did what they've done for years and made it much harder on themselves. Between that and the Titans' demigod in the backfield, Seattle allowed a 24-9 lead slip away and eventually lost 33-30 in overtime to the underdog Tennessee. Now, the manner in which the Seahawks lost does make it look like their defense crumbled. But the play-by-play performance was not all that bad, as the final product was. Without Derrick Henry's 60-yard touchdown run, a product of an overzealous run fit by Jamal Adams and Julio Jones's 51-yard catch, the Titans averaged a mediocre 5.2 yards a play. And even that was hard-earned, with Henry creating 160 of Tennessee's yards after the contact. Sometimes a defense just gets its ass kicked by one of the rarest physical freaks in the league. Right? Listen, the offense display, I think, was much more concerning. With Wilson completely ignoring the middle of the field after a positive day attacking that area. They really were. And Wilson's showing versus the Titans had all the hallmarks of a bad Wilson performance. Skittishness in the pocket, tunnel vision with his progressions, and refusal just to take checkdowns available. He just didn't look that good. They still put up points, but listen, Minnesota, meanwhile, they enjoyed a great game on offense in week 2, but they did suffer another kicker collapse, missing a 37-yard field goal to win, and they missed it. And he missed an extra point earlier in the game. So the Vikes, they just continue. They give a strong individual performances on defense. That Danielle Hunter, not missing a beat after a year. Patrick Peterson, looking good. But as far as a unit, we've seen there's been some miscommunication. Both the Seahawks, Vikings, they're really difficult to peg right now through 2 games. But the knowledge we do have is helpful. The Vikings are 0-7 against Wilson's Seahawks. 2-5 ATS, including 3 losses in the last 3 seasons. With Seattle's margin of victory in those games just a shade under 12 points. Both these teams are flawed, but Wilson has rarely had trouble with Mike Zimmer's defense. Listen, in a matchup with a lot of uncertainty, we're certain about the schemes Zimmer's going to rely on. He does. And the way in which Wilson can exploit it. Take the favored Seahawks to cover the small number. Lock it up. Seahawks -2. Next up, LA Chargers at KC. A lot of good games this week in the NFL. Over-under sitting at 55.5. This could be a good matchup. I think look-ahead line for this divisional matchup was set at 7.5 back in the spring. The official 2-week opener or second week opener hit the board at a touchdown, and action is on the underdog bolts. Yes. Sorry, I had to read the numbers there. Now it's slimmed to 6.5. Although there are some books still dealing the TD spread out there. LA +7, -115. So recommend buying up if need be, but find the 7. The lucky number 7 should rise, knowing the public will try to cash on KC after a loss. But they haven't looked that great. Or shall I say KC-like. Listen, the Chiefs had yet to play a complete game, needing a second half surge to battle against the Browns before coughing up an 11-point lead in the second half to the Ravens in Week 2. Those inconsistent efforts have burned bettors this year. Actually, not even just this year. They've cashed 2 winners on KC since Week 9 of last year. Need I say again, absolutely burned bettors. Cashed 2 tickets since Week 9 of last year. 2-11 ATS in the last 13 overall, including playoffs. KC has allowed opponents inside the 20-yard line 8 times and handed out TDs on all 8 of those defensive stands. They're 31st on the defensive DVOA overall, including 28th in red zone DVOA per Football Outsiders. If you don't know, defensive adjusted value over average. It breaks down the entire season play-by-play, comparing success on each play, based on the league average to the number of variables, including down, distance, etc., etc. Granted, though, KC played against 2 of the best rushing offenses in football, Browns, Ravens, and it showed on the stat sheet. Getting run over 404 total yards on the ground in the past 2 weeks. But while Herbert in the passing game is their focal point, Austin Eckler is a dangerous dual threat who compiled 148 yards, 93 rush, 55 pass against Kansas City last September. Listen, if you can shop around for a touchdown, it's worth the extra look on Los Angeles. If not, KC -65 out there and as high as 115, and the public will likely come back on KC later this week. It's already later this week, if it's not there already. Expect a big bounce back at home from Patrick Mahomes and company. But once you see LA +7, grab it. Don't lock it up. Don't lock it up right yet. We like the 7 is what we're saying. And let me just take a peek right now. See where it's at. See if anything's free. All right, look at that. It's at 7. That's some bucks. So buy it up. We like the 7. We do. We like the 7. And now that it's only Friday, maybe wait till 7.5. Maybe wait. I know. I've been trashing Herbert this whole year. That I'm not jumping on this Herbert hype. I just meant as like this MVP Super Bowl champ is what he's been hyped. It's his second year. He's good. He's got a good team around him. And I think they can. They have potential to win this game outright if he comes out balling. All right, let's move on. Indianapolis Colts at Tennessee Titans. Titans sitting at -5. If that hasn't changed either, we need to check our fucking lines. Over-under sitting at 48. It's the 1 p.m. game. Wentz out. Tennessee rolling. That's all we need. Listen, Tennessee started slow but turned it on. Yeah, I know we just talked about the Seattle game. It was a few big plays. But they still look stout. They now return home with some spunk in their step. You really think Jacob Eason, 4th rounder last year, is going to come throwing darts in Tennessee? A youngster who has just 5 career pass attempts? No, don't think so. And Wentz won't play. Even if Wentz were healthy, Tennessee would be a challenge. There's a lot of pressure here on the Colts in a division game, and now they're pressed with starting 0-3. just a tough spot. Let's recap the start of the Colts season. As they've started 0-2. And their QB was seen walking in a boot on Tuesday ahead of Week 3. Combine that with the offensive line problems, injuries popping up on defense, and things really could not be much worse. Entering last week, Quentin Nelson and Eric Fisher were questionable. Braden Smith was ruled out Friday. It has not been pretty for this team. Injuries happen. They're going to happen. They're great to bet against a lot of times. To pile on top of that, you now face a division rival with potential of being 0-3, 2 games behind them, and now face, this is going to be tough. Oh, and that team comes in with the issue of Derrick Henry at running back. Now listen, facing Henry at full strength is tough. Facing him with some key players on defense, not at 100%, is going to be close to a disaster. Eat the small points at home. We like it. Uh-oh. You hit it, didn't you? Larry must have a pick for us in the NFL. Let's listen in. What do you got for us? Well, man, I'm jumping right back on that dog. Not the underdog, but that brownie train in Cleveland. Yes, I lost with them last week, but a couple of turnovers really cost that game. Or, it could have been a 21-point game. Listen, I like the Bears, and I like Fields, man. But this is not the defense you want to put him in, or the city you want to throw him in. Yes, like you said last week, they love him in Ohio. But them Browns fans, they don't give 2 shits in a damn, man. Did you say damn? 2 shits in a damn or and? Is that and? And, man. In? And, man. Damn, let me do my pick. Again, I don't know, but continue. Thank you. As I was saying, tough to play in Cleveland, man. And a tough D to start with these boys, literally, man. They literally hit QBs with helmets. They'll take your damn helmet off and smack you with it, man. I'm laying the points with the favorite dogs. Get it, man? I get the favorite dogs, and they call them the dogs. They're the favorite. I get it. Good, man. Just making sure you knew, man. All right, so you're going back to Cleveland on this one. I'm not 100% in on this. I will lock it up. I got to put it on the board for you. But I want to see what Fields has. I really want to see it. I know he only played limited time last week, but I know it's going to be tough going against his defense. But he is good. 7's not that big of a number. So, yeah, okay, if I were to pick and I had to pick, if you put a gun to my head and say, hey, pick the game, yes, I would take Cleveland -7. But I just want to see more because Chicago does have a team around them. I mean, they don't have the players like the Browns, but again, hopefully not a letdown spot here. But it's already moved up to 7.5, so I hope you did take it at 7 because it's going to keep on moving. Keep on moving. All right, so those are our picks for you, but we've been doing on the show, we do our betting nuggets and quick picks. So let's get into those, and we'll wish you luck. We've been doing good. 3-0 already started this week. We're going to go 100% this week. All right, New Orleans, New England. Thanks to Hurricane Ida, the Saints will play their 3rd straight travel game in Week 3 after opening with a neutral site win over the Packers at Jacksonville in Week 1, and then losing to Carolina in Week 2. Listen, this is they just had a tough road and a lot this month, operating out of a makeshift home in Fort Worth, Texas, and recovering from COVID-19 outbreak from the staff, and now you have the Superdome that just caught on fire. Not that this will affect any of the games, but it's just bad luck, right? Yeah, man, Breezy sure did put a gypsy spell on them boys after first game. I mean, he don't want Winston looking good after that. No, he probably doesn't. Yes, some could say that, but just battered with problems. The look-ahead line for this game was set back in spring. It had NOLA -1 point underdog. Getting a point. But after all that's happened, the flat-out effort against the Panthers last weekend, managing just 7 points and 128 yards in offense, The Saints are field goal pups, and something just ain't right with this team. Listen, New England flexed its defensive muscle against New York in Week 2, recording 4 interceptions, but again, the Jets, rookie QB Zach Wilson. Carolina's pass rush was able to get to Jameis Winston 4 times, forced 2 interceptions, and a nice upset win. A week removed from Winston lighting up Green Bay, so who knows what Saints team shows up in New England this Sunday. But the schedule sure isn't working in their favor. We don't like it either. I mean, New England played well, but again, unproven still, because it was the Jets. So little nugget to eat if you like. But again, small lean on New England, just the problems that they've had. But again, the experience and everything, well, it's a tough game. All right, Cincinnati at Pittsburgh. Again, pay attention to the injuries here. If this is the case, all over Cincy. I mean, like, Cincy, with or without, I think it's still, it is a wait-and-see game. But I still think with those, if those guys play, Cincy can keep this game close. They're 13-3 ATS in their last 16 games in Week 3. It's a weird one, but, I like it. Arizona at Jacksonville. Jacksonville getting 7.5. Trappy as fuck, right? Really, Jacksonville only a TD and a half? The way Arizona's playing, is it a travel thing? Is it the 1-point win against Minnesota? Is this a letdown? I'm not buying that. AZ is looking hot on offense and should be an easy one here. Their defense is stacked. They haven't looked it. They've given up a lot of points. But this will be the game to turn things around on defense. It really. Again, betting nuggets, quick picks. Not our best bets, but again, some good information. Atlanta, New York, we're likely getting value here. New York's sitting at -3. Relative to where the market is going, it's closer than the Falcons taking on the Giants, right? Atlanta put up a fight against the Buccaneers, and now against the poor Giants defense, they could really get rolling this season. Listen, trust the Falcons on offense to finally look the way we expected them to. They're going to come out firing one game. The Giants shouldn't be favored in any game this year. So Atlanta, you get 3 points. I like that. Miami at Vegas. Vegas -4. Again, trap game. This is the NFL, and the point spread says that. You can't give a team that beat the Ravens in Pitt to a team that just lost their starting quarterback and didn't score a point in the last game against the Bills. And now it's only a 4-point spread at home. You can and you will, and we'll grab the points with a very capable backup in Miami. Miami plays a very stingy D with strange looks. This team is too high, Vegas, and hyped right now for it not to be close. Dolphins are 6-0 ATS in the last 6 games, following a straight-up loss. They're 10-1 in their last 11 games after allowing more than 30 points in the previous. Raiders are 0-4 ATS in the last 4 games as a favorite. So like it, love it, leave it, do what you want with it. All right, let's move on to some college football. We got a couple of betting tips on 3 games here. Mizzou against BC. Eagles getting a 1.5. BC again, we talked about the quarterback. They're going to be challenged this week by an explosive offense in Mizzou. Tough schedule spot here with BC at Clemson next, and BC sitting at 3-0 could top the ACC with a win against Clemson. Listen, we love this BC team, but starting QB went down. This dude last week that holds Flutie's single game record, he didn't show. Only 5 completions, but covered and didn't have to. He didn't really have to play, so it's hard to scope what he's going to be. We picked him last week. We loved him. Okay, I think he's going to be forced to pass against this Mizzou team. Again, a very porous Mizzou defense. Again, no play here, just some foreplay nuggets. You like that little foreplay nuggets. All right, Tennessee at Florida. Florida in -19. Joe Milton is in at quarterback for Tennessee. The Vols are going to struggle to score points. If it's Hooker, the Vols have a better chance of scoring. With such a bad offensive line, listen, Hooker will still struggle to get rid of the ball. But I like Florida to come out here with at least a 3-touchdown win. Tennessee struggling. You don't know who's playing quarterback. Tennessee, tough loss to Bama, but this is a good revenge spot against one of their bigger rivals, and they get them at home. Texas Tech at Texas. Take the over 60 points and a half. Texas is coming off back-to-back overs, and the game against the Raging Cajuns last week just missed hitting the number at 58 and a half. The teams combining to score 56. The Longhorns if you notice and watch, they're wanting to play with pace. And there's an opportunity for most of their games to be extremely high scoring. This game is no exception. I think with the Raiders, throughout history even, and this year, they've been very capable of putting numbers on the board. And they're also very vulnerable in the secondary. Which, of the last 3 meetings between these teams, have gone over the total with a combining score of 89 points per game. Also, Tech, last 9 games against the teams averaging more than 31 points per game have gone over. So we like it. Lock them all up. Should we give you a quick cliff note? So it's Texas Tech over 6.5. Florida minus 19.5. Missouri, Boston, we're staying away. Miami, Vegas, Miami +4. Atlanta, New York Giants, Atlanta +3. Arizona minus 7.5 at Jacksonville. Cincinnati +3 at Pittsburgh. New England -3. Don't really have a bet on it, but that's kind of where we're going. Larry's pick at Cleveland -7, now 7.5 against Chicago at home. Indianapolis at Tennessee. We like Tennessee -5. LA Chargers, KC. We like Chargers +7, 7.5 if you can find it. Seahawks at Vikings. We like the Seahawks -2. Kentucky Wildcats at South Carolina, another one of Larry's picks. He likes South Carolina at home, getting 5 points. Clemson versus NC State. NC State at home, getting 10 points. We like the 10 points. Scarlet Knights, Rutgers at Michigan. We like the 21 here. We're waiting for the 21, but we still like 20.5, getting points to Rutgers. Miami, Ohio Red Hawks against Army Black Knights. We're taking Miami +8.5. Notre Dame getting 6.5 against Wisconsin. We like Notre Dame. And that's it. So listen in. Like us wherever you listen. Get the app if you like. If you want more picks. I'm your host, Lorenzo da Costa. Good luck this weekend. And we're out.